there is this thing they call stress. I say to people that everyone have a bucket that is given to them. Maybe a bucket. This is your bucket that is given to you, and many things will be thrown at you, which are your stress. It could be your marriage causing you stress. It could be your job, debt. It could be sickness. It could be anything that is coming in. They are all stress. He said, but you also need to have a tap in your bucket.
Okay.
You need to have something in your bucket whereby there is something else to help to be reducing the stress that you are going to.
Pour it out.
So for somebody with all of that happening, it might be that going to church help them to reduce
the stress.
So the tap will continue dripping off the stress. But if there is no good management, there's nothing to
nothing to reduce it. It will just pile up.
It will pile up and spill over, and that's it.
Hello and welcome to the 91 Podcast, the show where we dig deep into people's passions with the hope to inspire, encourage, and motivate you. On today's episode, we have a mental health practitioner and a Christian content creator, and she's none other than Mrs. Better Immanuel. It's great to have you in our studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell me a bit about your job as a mental health practitioner? What does it involve? What do you do?
So I've worked in various settings since I become a nurse. So I've been in the ward whereby you have people who have really had a major breakdown and they are not with it. Sometimes they don't even know that this is what is happening to them.
What does that look like? Just give me an example of what you've experienced. What does it look like when a person has had a major breakdown and has come in?
Yeah, so obviously they can come in. It could be due to drug induce. It could just be an organic onset as well that just happened. Or it can be a major trauma that has happened that have triggered them down that path. And sometimes when they come in as well, some of them, they might be able to have the insight and agreed to be admitted informally, but some of them, they might need to be admitted against their will as well to be able to get the treatment that they need. At that time, they might not be able to even consent to some of the treatment they give, and professionals will just give based on their expertise or what they think actually will work for that person. And it will come to a point in time when the person will literally get back and begin to now communicate with professionals, and they will walk our way and step down to a different service. Yeah. So that's the ward one. We have the community, which is where I am. Right now I work in the community. So these are people who probably have existing mental health issues who are in the community. And the community can differ, really. We have rehab in the community whereby people have to be rehabilitated to get back to do some of the things they need to do in the community. Maybe they don't really know their way. Some of them might just be coming from prison as well. So all sort of range of people in the community. And then we have the older adults team as well, which at the moment I'm in the older adult team, which will probably focus on various mental health issues as well as dementia. Because most older adults will be presenting with memory difficulties a lot. So that's where I am. So you work with people, and there are more resources being put into the community at the moment to kind of help people, because obviously the stigma attached to mental health is if they can get access to their mental health right at their home is much better.
Than coming out publicly and
exactly.
people looking at you and saying, don't I know you? Are you not from church?
Exactly. So it's good that we are in a time whereby there are so many resources available and people can get these resources easily, even through their GP. They have services that are next to the GP whereby there is a mental health practitioner that can easily see them when things are beginning to get bad.
There's something you mentioned. You said organic, you said trauma, you said, what are those and what are the differences?
Yeah, so organic could just really be maybe as well as genetic as well. So somebody, maybe their mother or their father, within the family, there is mental health happening already. So they're already like at risk of also developing mental health as well. So even so many things can make you. Organic is there, even your childhood adverse experience, all of them can also add to you being prone to, and also the threshold. Some people don't have threshold for dealing with issues
Stress.
that happen, the stress that happen in life, so they can just lose it. Just little stress, they've already like head on to the part of a mental health breakdown. So, but there are also the ones that have drug induced, maybe as a result of taking substance misuse like cannabis, cocaine.
Those can trigger
And
mental disorder.
exactly. And obviously, once it trigger one, sometimes when someone have a drug-induced psychosis, then obviously the next episode they become risk of over having the next episode again, just because they kind of like risk themselves as well. So it's important that at that point when they have that first episode, there is a proper work being done, educational, psychoeducation, to be able to get them to a place to understand that you can't. Anytime you hear this part again, you might be here again.
You've just mentioned what you've mentioned that mental illness can be genetic, because I notice sometimes, like even in our own culture, as
Yeah.
Africans,
Yeah.
let's say you want to get married to someone, they're going to go and check the person's family. Does any member of the family have any mental illness, this, that? Okay, don't marry this person because maybe their mother has mental illness, the father has mental illness, and don't marry them so you can avoid having your children have any mental illness issues. What are your thoughts on that?
I would say the fact that someone have a parents or a brother also doesn't necessarily mean you will have it, but it's just like I think when it comes to mental health, people have the idea to just say that, oh, this is mental health, run. But when it comes to physical health, people don't have the same view. You don't go and check that, oh, this family has diabetes, so I'm not going to marry, from this family. You don't, because you also know that people can also kind of determine the things, the choices they make, the kind of life they live will also help to either reduce the risk factors or increase the risk factors that happen. So for somebody who has a family of addiction, you cannot say, I'm not going to marry the person because their family, there's an addiction going on. But the person could have already have it in there that, okay, I don't want to walk this path. And therefore, they literally stay away from anything.
Do what they can do to avoid it.
So we can also, from where you are, the person can determine to say, okay, I'm not going to continue this path, so my children will not have the risk of this. So, but if they work on that the same path, then obviously the risk is high. Yeah. And the fact that you know that this is what is happening in my family and take precautions, you reduce it. But if you take it as nothing and you act the way you don't want to act, you just do things anyhow, then obviously you are putting yourself at risk of developing whatever issue, whether physical, mental health. It could be anything, really. Yeah.
Why did you choose this line of work?
Oh, okay. I would say, obviously, I wanted to always be in the medical, field. Really, I wanted to become a doctor growing up in Nigeria. I grew up in a area whereby there's not much, very little. We have very little as a family.
You mean financially?
Financially, I would say when I say poor, we are really poor. That's what I would say. We're really, really poor. And I wanted to probably change that. So the first thing I wanted to become a doctor. That's what I had in my mind, that I'm going to become a doctor, maybe a gynecologist, practicing, women health also. But obviously, time goes by. I came here to the UK. I still have my dream of becoming a doctor, but then I also had a lot of siblings that were depending
How
on
many
me.
siblings?
In total, so for my dad's side, I have 6. Yeah, so obviously I have stepbrothers, and in total maybe 8, all of us. For my dad, I'm the
8
eldest.
siblings. Oh,
Yeah,
and they're depending on you.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
pressure.
Exactly. So when I came, I said, okay, what can I do that can help me quickly to find my foot and be able to help? I know that going to study medicine, that's like six
Yeah,
years
that's a long
into
time.
before you come and do your foundation, 2 years. I'm like, this is gonna be
Too
a long
long.
route.
Yeah.
And so I decided to go into nursing. Obviously, I started working in care when I came. I was working in care. So I had the opportunity of working in people with learning disability, mental health, and all of that. And I also started notice some of the things I've noticed back home
Like
in
what?
Nigeria. Obviously, you see like old people. Sometimes they start acting in a way.
Yes. The way
Yeah.
people get older, they start turning into babies in a
Yeah,
way.
they start acting a way, and then you see like families because of this. Oh, she must be a witch, or she must be this. Like there was just funny things. And when I started working in care, I started seeing all these behaviors
Give me
as
an
well.
example of the behavior.
Yeah, like somebody, like an old woman accusing you
Yeah.
of something. Just probably would say that, oh, you're the one that came into my room and pressed my neck, or you're the one that
You say person is a witch
then
now.
you know, and then you'll be wondering like, oh, wow. So then I begin to like say, okay, and this is what is happening to these people. They probably have dementia and no one
Okay, so they're killing
knew
people falsely for
about
that.
it. You understand? So they're just having behavioral symptoms that comes with that diagnosis, and no one knows. So I begin to like have interest. So I decided to say I'm going to do nursing. I applied immediately to mental health. But you know, like when you apply, then somebody is going to come to you. Why did you apply to mental health? So people around me are like, oh, no, 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 no. You should go and do adult nursing. You should go and do that because that's much better. You
Why
have
didn't they want you doing mental health? What's
I
wrong
don't
with
know.
mental
They just feel that maybe there is a lot more in adults as opposed to mental health. But I guess it's all about the awareness. Yeah. So I'm like, so I had to go back, do my personal statement all over again, apply for adult nursing. But
Oh, so you left what you wanted to do because of people's opinions.
yeah.
Wow.
But to God be the glory, the lady who was in charge of admission and said, oh, the reply was like, I think mental health is
It's better
much
for you.
better for you because your personal statement was more alive in mental health as opposed to adults. I said, okay. So I just like, okay, I go with it. And then I just went into mental health. But I'm glad I did anyway, because I've really, really come to enjoy what I do. And yeah, and yeah, I'm happy.
So what made you fold to the pressure? You know when they were telling you don't do mental health, and so you went to go change your application. What made you
You know,
fold in?
for we Nigerians, school is more than just going to school and working. Is more than just school and work.
How?
It's
Explain.
it's more about what that career is going to bring for you, to your family,
Financially, you mean?
financially.
Oh.
You understand? So they people feel that adult nursing is more. They have a lot of branches, a lot of things you can branch it, so you can specialize in. You can either specialize in cancer, cardiac, and stroke, and this, all of it. But most talk is not talk within mental health, but there are a lot of specialty as well within mental health that people can specialize in as well. So
So you're working in mental health. Have you yourself ever experienced any mental health breakdown as someone who's working with people who experience mental health breakdowns?
oh, I wouldn't.
The difficult question. It's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess it depends on what you mean by breakdown. Obviously, there are breakdown that requires that you're going to seek professional support and or maybe being admitted or that. But I don't think I've been at that point. But obviously, I've had my low moments. I've had time like a few years ago when we were homeless.
Oh, you were homeless.
Yeah, yeah. When we're homeless, me, my husband, and I had a daughter. My first daughter, and I was pregnant with the next one. So that was a difficult moment for us, obviously, as a family. Myself, especially being a new mother, and within 4 months, maybe 5 months, I was pregnant again with another one. So there were all sorts of things happening, hormonal, just flying around. Yeah, I think at that point I had my lows. Probably that was the time also we had our own challenges as well in marriage as well.
All
Because
of that at the same time.
exactly. But I guess is being able to cry for help and making use of those around you when you're going through that tough time is important
Do you
as
mind
well.
me asking what happened that you were homeless?
Oh, obviously, I think after that we had a baby. Obviously, we're living somewhere, and obviously, they gave us quick notice to leave
Didn't they know
initially.
you just had a child?
But it's one room. Obviously, nobody wanna be having people, couples, children in a room. Obviously, needed. And then my husband was half out of job.
Wow.
Then
How
so
did you, because I know you're a person that you believe in God, you are,
exactly.
so what were you feeling at that time, thinking towards God? Because I'm sure his promises don't involve homelessness or this or out of job. So how were you?
I guess I guess like I told you, like people have different threshold for pain. So where I was coming from, that one is small thing compared to what I've had as a shy dude. So even when going through that, even though that was a lot to deal with, especially you are now in a country where you should have a kind of abundance, will you say abundance?
Yeah, people
Yeah,
think there's so much money here, so
exactly.
much.
And then you are not going through that, and there were people still calling, still
Depending on
relying
you,
on
even
you.
when you were homeless, people are
Exactly,
still asking you for money.
exactly.
What did you tell them? How did you respond? Did you tell them, oh, you're in a worse situation? What did you tell them?
Even when you tell them, people, it's hard for
They
people
don't
to
believe you.
actually believe your story, to tell people, because you also know that they are going through their own
Yeah.
as well. So it's quite a difficult time. And then also, even though you are in a country whereby you should have access to
To everything.
maybe benefit. Obviously, I was a British citizen, so I expect that I should get that support. But then I was in school, and I was not entitled.
School, school, your husband out of a job, you are
Exactly.
pregnant, you just had all of
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. So I was not entitled to anything. At one point they were paying, I think they were paying me something, and then they came back to say, no, you have to return the money back to us as well. So it was a very, very challenging time. But
How long did that time last for?
uh, maybe a year. A
A
year.
year of not having anywhere to
Yeah,
stay.
yeah. So, but there were people who were able to come. That's why I said God has a way of also sorting out his own. Yeah. So, someone was able to say, "Okay, come and I'm going to America. You can be in my house in that period." So we were staying with that person while we're still trying to get to get somewhere else to be able to stay and get back on our feet as soon as possible. But God was faithful. It was a difficult period. Debts were piled up because I'm somebody who would not always ask as well. So credit card was a lot of credit
And you're
card
even laughing
was
about it
banned.
now.
Was banned. Yeah, because God have really, really taken us from that place and walk us through. It's been years, and it took a lot of years to probably even pay back all those debts as well. But we got there at the end.
Wow.
Got there at the end, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so back to mental health. So you
Yeah.
said that was your lowest point,
Yeah.
and that was when you had, not what's the word? So that was a difficult point for you mentally. So can you just tell us how did that affect your mental health? So how did you know that, okay, I'm not in the best place now mentally? Hi, guys. As you know, this podcast is brought to you for free, even though it does cost us some money to try and put it together. So if you'd like to support us, please click and send us a super sticker. Any amount would be appreciated. Or you could email us at 91productionsltd@gmail.com if you'd like to sponsor and work with our business to bring even more content. Please, please do support us, and we promise that we will bring you even better content of greater quality that will inspire, educate, and motivate you. Thank you for watching once again. We really appreciate all your support.
At that period of time when we're going through that, you're going through all of that. You know that obviously you're not what is happening is not okay, but you are still able to open up to people who are next to you. That's why obviously when people are going through mental health, it's also important that they have people around there because they can easily walk out of that situation because sometimes what someone is going through might just be that being able to remove what is causing the triggers
Yes.
will help them heal quickly. But if they're not removing, so for someone like some of my patients, they might be going through something whereby they're having a lot of housing issues, and that is what
It's triggering them.
is triggering them.
Yeah.
So you want to find out how can I get housing to sort out all these things that is happening in their house for them to be able to, you understand, to get better. So being able to get the right people around you and begin to walk your way. What is happening? What are the things causing these things? So for my husband, that period, he needed a job as well, something as quick as possible. And someone came through for us, and he started doing something. That way also. So I'm talking about just my mental health. I know he
must have been going through something,
and because
definitely.
as a man, you
Not being able to
that,
provide at that point, and seeing his family, his newborn baby going through that must have been shattering.
Exactly. So he must be going through his own. And I might not be understanding his own pain.
Yeah.
He might not be understanding my own pain as well. So there's a period of to go through with. So having the right people. But I guess in mental health, there are so many things that can help people, and people need to identify what helped them as well. Obviously, even in that period, if people might not notice, but I might still post something.
You were still
Yeah,
what kind of person are you? You were still posting things.
I might still look for a way to dance because I love dancing.
You were dancing online. When was this? Because I know you're always dancing online.
So I might still dance, you understand? There might be time I not bother to turn up anyway, but you just need to identify what.
So what was making you still
for you
dance, still post things? What was driving you to still be doing all of that with everything that was on your neck?
Like I said, your threshold for being able to deal with things matters. And sometimes they will say Nigerians play with everything.
They say the Nigerians, were the happiest people, even when we're going through suffering.
Exactly.
We're still able to deal with it.
They play with everything like that. And because of how we were brought up, even when we didn't have anything, even if we didn't eat throughout the day, you will still be happy.
Can you tell me a bit more about this threshold thing? This threshold. What are there different, are there terms for the different thresholds?
So the way I will say it is there is this thing they call stress.
Yes.
Stress. And sometimes I say to people that everyone have a bucket that is given to them. Maybe a bucket. This is your bucket that is given to you. And many things will be thrown at you, which are your stress. It could be your marriage causing you stress. It could be your job, debts. It could be sickness. It could be anything that is coming in, they are all stress. He said, but you also need to have a tap in your bucket.
Okay.
You need to have something in your bucket whereby there is something else to help to be reducing the stress that you are going to.
Pour it out.
So for somebody with all of that happening, it might be that going to church help them to
reduce the stress.
so the tap will continue dripping off the stress. But if there is no good management, there's nothing to kind of...
Nothing to reduce it. It will just pile up.
It will pile up
until you
and
burst.
spill over. And that's it.
Okay.
That's when you see people that they lose it and they couldn't handle it anymore. Somebody's trying to commit suicide.
Because there's nothing to drain the stress out.
Exactly.
Okay, I never thought of that before.
Yeah.
So the drain could even be maybe a good relationship with your
Exactly.
family. So you're talking to people, you can
Yeah.
drain that stress out.
Yeah.
Drain, like you mentioned, could be church. You can
Could
use
be
that and
church,
drain.
could be
the stress out.
exercise. It could be
Yeah.
anything you
Going
think.
for a run, all those
Yeah.
things can drain the stress out.
Exactly.
Wow.
But there are also bad things that also...
Bad drains also.
Yeah.
Like what?
So some people might start drinking more as a way to cope with that stress. Although it gives you an immediate satisfaction, but the next thing you are even more depressed after. Yeah.
So it's adding something to you. So you're drunk, you're depressed. It's not adding more to your stress.
Exactly.
So it's not really draining. It's just
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So some people might be smoking. Maybe they smoke only 10 a day, but when they are stressed, they go to 50.
It can be eating also.
can be
I know when I'm
eating.
stressed, sometimes maybe chocolate. I need something to nibble on.
Exactly.
Satisfaction is there, but then it's adding weight,
Exactly.
and then the weight
Exactly.
might even can lead to a health
Exactly.
issue. Wow, I never
Exactly.
thought of stress like that.
So that is how it is. So I feel that we Nigerians, we just have a way of dealing with stress. Although it's also steep, that does not mean everyone, because that's why we also sometimes overlook people in the society that even when they're not at the point when they are no longer dealing with, we don't notice them as well.
You know, there's so many questions I have from everything you've just said now. I'll just quickly try and get into some of them before I ask my other questions I had for you. So there's something you mentioned. You said when you were going through all of that, sometimes you mentioned a trigger can be, like you said, the homelessness might have been your trigger, was your trigger at that moment. And somebody was able to provide to fix that issue. And that was able to reduce what you were going through and help, improve your mental health.
Yeah.
And what you said just reminded me of something I've always had in mind when it comes to like your spiritual health. So we've talked about your mental health, spiritual health. Sometimes you have people that are going through a lot spiritually. Their spiritual health is just all over the place.
Yeah.
And you don't know that maybe you providing something for them, maybe you helping them financially or helping them maybe a home, helping them with something could help remove that trigger. So there's something I always say to people, if you don't provide for a person's body, how do you hope to maybe win their soul or help their spirit? Because many times Nigerians are always praying for people. Oh, you might come to me now. Oh, I'm going through this thing. I say, oh, God will help you. God will help you. Pray. But then I could actually help remove that trigger. The issue now may be, you need £50 for something. If I have 40 that I can spare or 30, if I give that to you, it can reduce that trigger. So my praying for you is not going to help you.
So prayer is not the answer to every thing that I say to people. Prayer, because we Christians, sometimes we are the people that use the word prayer so much.
Yes, we say prayer is the key, but the Bible doesn't say prayer is the key.
You understand? We use prayer, and sometimes we just misuse it in things that can easily just
help somebody with,
help someone and sorted. So sometimes that's why I say to people, I say, if you want to sugarcoat the Bible to suit your own narrative, you can easily do that.
Course.
Definitely. But if we know that that's why when Jesus said that, he said, I was hungry. So if someone comes to you that they are hungry, it's not prayer that they need.
It's food.
It's food that they need. Yes, you can talk about prayer later on, but food, feed them first at that moment.
Then you can preach to them, and they'll be even more receptive.
Exactly. So if someone say they don't have somewhere to sleep, it's not prayer that they need. They need a shelter
to remove that trigger from them. Because that's why you want to win souls, but if you cannot help the body, how would you win that soul?
Exactly. So I always say that total health is everything. your body, your mind, your spirit,
Yes.
everything. If one is suffering, the others are suffering. So you can't like say, okay, I'm gonna just keep fit here and there, and your mind is all
Going
polluted with various stuff. So it has to be everything. Try to balance in everything.
holistic.
Yeah, holistic.
There's something else you mentioned, because you mentioned that you were going through your own thing. Your husband was probably going through his own thing, and you did not might not be able to understand or know exactly how it was, going
Yeah,
on with him.
yeah,
So, someone once told me that they work, with people who are dealing with mental illnesses, and a lot of the women there, the reason that they are there is because of men, because of the relationship with men. Is this true, or is it just?
no. There are so many things that can cause people to present a mental health, but it could be, like I said, it could be trauma that happened. So a lot of people go through things. It could just be an abuse. A child has been abused consistently as a child, and then present to mental health, children mental health service. So some people have worked through mental health from very early age, as far to when they were as children. Maybe they were subject to abuse, and that began to play. And it could be as a result of an accident that left something. Yeah. Then it could also be even childbearing, post-traumatic, postnatal depression. Some people, as soon as they have children, they went through that period. They've never been the same again. So a lot of things can
Tell
happen.
me a bit about this postnatal depression.
I think I would say that for every woman, for those who are married, also people should pay attention to their women when they have children, they're pregnant, they have children. So they should pay attention more to their mental health that period. It's not the time to kind of like say, are you the first person that got
Give birth,
pregnant?
yes.
Are you the
Is it
first
only
person
you? Other people,
that
I did it in my time.
yeah, I did it my time. Also, or think, oh, how are you so lazy? Why are you so this? It's not the time to because words are powerful as well. Even words alone can cause immense stress on somebody to the extent of losing it. So it's important that people pay attention to women's health during that period as well. And they need all the help, all the support. If you know you're a man, you cannot provide that support, then get an extra hand to be able
Get
to
someone
help.
to be cooking and cleaning.
Exactly.
Because it's a lot on a person's head.
Exactly.
I remember I
Exactly.
saw this thing online. So what they were talking about, they just had a baby. The mother-in-law came, said she wants soup. That they should cook soup for her. Just had the baby the day before. They should cook
Exactly.
soup for her. Do this, do that. And I'm just thinking, is this person crazy? Either you have no emotions, or you're you're
Exactly.
crazy.
Exactly. So I think it should not be played down at all during that period, because the support they that they get during that period will help to reduce that uh, for someone going into postnatal depression as well. For some people, it can just be chemical imbalance at that period, and they just need all the help, all
Because
the
I remember
love.
when I had my most recent son, my child anyway. When I had my child, I remember I was feeling so sad. At a point, I didn't even want to step outside, because I was just feeling like if I step outside, somebody's looking at my body. Maybe they say, "Oh, you've just had a child, that you're looking big,"
Yeah.
or that. So I was even feeling so afraid of going outside, because I felt like people might be watching me or having their opinions about me. So when I finally when I finally got back outside, the lady who works at one of those centers, she was telling me, "Oh, it seems like you're going through baby blues." And for me, I was just wondering, "Oh, what's this baby blues thing?" I didn't really know more about it.
Yeah.
And when she explained it to me, I realized, "Oh yeah, this is what I was dealing with." Because I didn't know, why am I feeling sad?
Yeah.
Why don't I want to go outside? Why am I
Yeah.
avoiding people? All of that. Why am I having strange thoughts I should not be having?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
it's quite real.
It is real. It is real. Yeah. That's why I said mental health is everyone's business, really, and people should normalize this conversation. It should not be something that should be shied away from, which I think most religious people just shy away
Yes.
from it and fate it, or If you say it, you are weak. Where is your faith? Where
Yes,
is your
shouldn't be
faith?
saying that. What
Nah.
they'll say is an evil spirit that's disturbing the
Yeah,
person.
no, not at all. Even there are people in the Bible who had somebody like Elijah had his own low moment. When someone come at him, was it Jezebel who told? Was it Jezebel? Yeah, it was Jezebel.
Yes, yes.
And then he ran away. He ran away. Then begin to complain to God to say, "Oh, I can't." You understand? So people will have their moment of fear, and it's normal.
The moments of lowness, the moments
Loneliness,
of
yeah.
many people in the Bible did. Even David,
Yeah,
wrote so much about
yeah.
how he was feeling, those
Feeling
low moments.
exactly,
So yeah, it's normal for everyone to go through that.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
important. Yeah.
So what you're saying, that there's no difference between men and women when it comes to mental health.
Oh, the mental health affects everyone, both man, women. Obviously, is being expressed with differs. But I feel that most women seek help on time because maybe women are people who are more
We talk more.
expressive,
We're
who
more
are more
expressive.
expressive than men, and men tend to kind of um, bottle it in a bit more. That's why the male suicide is 3 times higher than that of women. So that's why it's important that, because they will always say to men, "Man up," isn't it?
Yes.
And
Why are you crying
but
like a woman?
there's nothing wrong. If they want to cry, they should be able to cry. If they are going through it, say, "I've had enough," they should be able to say, "I've had enough. I'm not feeling okay." They should be able to say it, because words like "man up," "deal with it," "oh, it's not," they don't help. They don't help. Not at all. People should be able to say what they're happening, and what is love if people can say what is
How they're
happening,
feeling.
and
Yeah.
you come to their rescue.
So as somebody from, Nigerian background, so in Nigeria there are a lot of people on the street who they said the person has gone mad. The person is, maybe naked or this and that on the street. Would you see those as mental health breakdowns or spiritual problem, as many Nigerians see it, or they've done juju on the person? Or...
I think there is a place for. I won't say that as far there is mental health, there is no spiritual aspects. There are spiritual things that happen. Spiritual things happen every day, and the mental health is also real. And even if someone feel that this person is afflicted spiritually, but what they are presenting at the moment, the effects of it, they might need that psychological intervention to target the mental health aspect. Why you think you want to deal with the spiritual maybe later? So so for those people who are on the street, it's got to do more with our government. Unfortunately, we don't have a good health service. We don't have that freedom. So if the family don't have the funds to be able to seek help for their loved ones on their own, then they will just end up and remain in the streets. And these can be things that can be taken care of. Or instead of saying that they are witch shows or witchcraft that is happening, it could just be the need. Proper rehabilitation, mental health rehabilitation, to be able to help them back on their feet again. So I just feel that we should be able to separate mental health and spiritual oppression. Yeah, people can be oppressed spiritually, as we've seen in the Bible as well. People who have been afflicted, spiritually oppressed or demonic oppressed, but then mental health is also real. And there were some people who say that in everything. That's why the devil is the accuser. we accuse the devil of everything anyway, but we have to deal with what is happening. If this person is presenting with issues of mental health, we need to deal with them. Those who want to pray, they can be praying so that the intervention, everything will work together. That's it.
So I just have 2 more questions for you. My first question is, you did mention that men and women, we bring out or we show it differently. The mental health problems, we express it differently. So in what ways because sometimes people don't know that they're dealing with a mental health problem, but maybe you as an expert, from the way they are expressing it, from their behavior, physical behavior or something, it's easy to tell that they're having a breakdown. What are the things that we can easily see that can help us tell that somebody is going through, a mental health breakdown?
I think you would normally know someone baseline of how they behave. Normally, if you spend time with somebody, you will know how they behave. If something has changed as well, you will know that this person don't used to behave like this. If somebody who is always like coming out, they like social gathering, and suddenly they don't want to have anything to do with social gathering anymore. You know that there is something happening. What is happening? This is not the usual for this person. Something must be wrong. And maybe somebody you always reach out to them, then suddenly they don't want to answer anybody's call. They don't want to be contacted or anything. You know there's something happening as well. So most of the time people within that person we tend to know instantly what is happening. Sometimes they themselves might know, sometimes they might just be in denial of it as well.
Yes.
And so it's important to just like kind of look at what is happening to this person. This is not their usual behavior anymore. Yeah. Or maybe they are just become really irritable. All of a sudden they get, you wonder like, why? Yeah, why are they getting, and it's consistent. It's not like
Yeah.
it's a one-off. It's something that is not happening over and over again. So you know that something is happening as well. Yeah.
Then my last question: how do we deal with stress? What advice can you give as a mental health practitioner to help us deal with stress so that it doesn't overload and we end up having a breakdown?
Like I said, concerning the stress bucket, you have to identify things that you enjoy doing, things that help you to be able to. For women, most of the time, especially with our children, we neglect our self care
Of course.
so much. We are very, very sacrificial
Yes.
beings. Women, they are created like that, but we have to also take a step back and say, you need to be well to be able to look after people.
Yes.
I say that to people. You need to be well. So you need to look after yourself so that you can be in the best position to provide the care that you so much want to give, either to your children or to those around you. So self-care is very, very important. How you do it, it could be having your alone time, it could be going out with friends just for a few cash up.
So that's the tap
and
then to release
yeah,
the
yeah. So it could just be spending time with hobby, taking the children somewhere, somebody to, and just have your me time with hobby or your own me time as well. So because sometimes you still need your own from hobby
Yes.
one as well. So being able to identify your own ways to manage yourself, managing yourself is very, very important. And I know sometimes we Africans, especially we that have come here into the diaspora, like sometimes we focus on money too
Of
much.
course.
And no, the truth is that if you die today, everybody move
Nobody
so
forget you.
quickly.
They eat jollof at the funeral
Exactly.
and move on.
Everybody moves so quickly. So in as much you want to pack all the pounds bet, you should take time to rest. Give yourself rest. That's why you notice most of us who are blacks who are here, sometimes we work, and when it gets to retirement, we're already very sick because we've kind of overworked ourselves, and the next minute you're gone. So you need to take time to enjoy. Another thing as well, you have to know what hobbies do I like. What are some of the hobbies? Like me, I like dancing. So I'll dance with my children. I'll dance. That
No
might be
matter
a
what you're
way
dealing
of,
with, you're always dancing.
yeah, that might be the way of, so I will always like to dance. And then also just doing what you love. I'll say doing what you love is important. So if you are in a job and you know that you so much hate the job is giving you stress, maybe it's time to sit back to now say, okay, what can I do? What kind of job And instead of staying in the job and you are getting stress and you know that is the job, find something. How can I improve myself in order to move from point A to point B is important as well. So, and then also, if for anything, if it become really overwhelming, get someone that you speak to. It could be your friends that you're speaking. So this is what is happening. They will be able to probably identify things that can help you come out quickly. But otherwise, if you go through also a stressful event, there are people who have gone through divorce, who have gone through bereavement. That would be a difficult time. It's not a time to deal with it. Get a professional help to help you walk through it, because you'll be going through all sorts of stages of grief, definitely. So you need that extra support. And there's nothing wrong seeking help. There's nothing wrong seeking help.
I noticed in everything you said, you haven't said you should cut off the stressors. Now you,
Because
sorry to say,
stress
but
will always be there.
you have 8 siblings that you said, that are looking up to you for help, financially and everything. So you never said, oh, let me just cut off from all my 8 siblings and not do anything again. Because some people, they'll say, new year, new me, I'm going to cut you off.
No, stress will always be there. I don't think we can live without stress. So, but we can manage
the stress.
stress. We can't live without them. And obviously for my family, I've been there with them. I
So you know
what
what they're
is
going
happening.
through.
You understand? So if there's any way I can empower them to also empower others, then I should be able to do it. But then I should not overdo things that now
To the detriment of your mental health or your
exactly
physical or spiritual health.
exactly. Because there will be some people that will just call me, oh, I need money, I've not eaten. For me, that's, you shouldn't answer, you shouldn't call me for that. So I might ignore you for things like that. So I don't have money to eat this. For me, you should be able to work, especially if you're an adult.
But the way
Find
you're giving them money,
anything.
you must be a millionaire. Maybe I should call you too and ask you to give me money. Since you're giving everybody money.
You understand? So I think it's picking what you think you want to do. But for somebody who said, okay, I need to go to school, or that's something important to them that can get you later on free. They can finish their school and start working and then take care of themselves. That one, or maybe there's something happening, someone is really sick. Also, there are something you can't turn turn a blind eye to. But there are some that you have to say, no, I can't.
You're always giving and giving. Doesn't it ever affect you financially? Do you ever find yourself in a moment where you are lacking finance because you've given out everything?
I think you have to kind of have a budget. So even in terms of the budget to give out, you have a budget. So I always have my personal allowance. My husband has his own personal allowance. So there might be a month I might not do my hair because I had to help somebody or so. So it's all about sacrifice, and that you need to, if you have to sacrifice not doing your hair this month because somebody really need that thing. Yeah, even from my own family as well. I've had people, you think you're doing right for them, but then they might just not really appreciate it. But I think over the years, I've kind of like grown, and between myself and my husband, we'll kind of like say, you know what, whatever you do, don't expect anything back.
Not even thank you or some respect.
Do it because you want to do it, and you're doing it unto God rather than man. Because you can't, it's very hard to get an appreciation back from a man, or a thank you from a man. I believe that true appreciation or thankful or reward can only come from God. So most of the times, the reason why we get hurt when we help people is because we're kind of expecting some kind of loyalty
Yes.
from them.
Yes.
But if you take that out of the equation, then you will just help because you just want to help. And there are times I've come to a point whereby I help someone. I'll tell my husband, I say, okay, this money that we're about to give to this person, even though the person said he was going to give it to us, let us agree now that if they don't bring it, we won't hold it against them.
And you
So,
still talk to the person after.
uh
You won't say, what of my money?
yeah, because once you've made up your mind that I'm giving this money, if they bring it, I will be so happy. But if they don't, life goes on because I've made up my mind. That's why you have to get to a point. That's why I don't really like borrowing to someone. I prefer to help you with what I can help you with. Because some people will come and say, oh, can you loan me £1,000 or £500? I can't trust that you will give me
You'll
back
block your number after.
that money. So I can only say, okay, if I don't have all to give to you, I can say, okay, take 100. That's what we can help you with. That's what we have. And I'll be more at peace. Now, because I've had people that they just take money and then they come with all sorts of stories. And sometimes I really want to like understand their story as well. To say, okay, maybe they don't really, really have it. But that's why, so once you come to a point, there is even somebody right now that I've given money to, but I made it up my mind that if they bring it, I'll be happy because I didn't give it to them. And I told them, I'm not going to ask you to give me back that money. So you should remember on your own to bring it back.
So whether you bring it or you don't, life goes on.
Life goes on.
Wow. So do you have any final thing you want to say about mental health? Thank you for making it this far in the video. We really appreciate you for watching. If you have an inspirational story that you'd like us to share on our podcast, please drop us an email. Our email can be found in the description below. Enjoy the rest of the video, and thank you for watching.
I think all I need to say to everyone is that mental health is everyone's business. It's everyone's business. The people going through mental health, they are not some certain special of people. They are people like you and I. 1 in 4 people will go through mental health. It means it's not far from us.
Yeah.
It's just within us. It could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your child, it could be your husband, it could be anyone around you. It could even be your pastor. I just want to say that out there.
Sorry.
Yeah, it could even be your pastor because most times religion has have it in a way that we kind of fit everything and forget that even the pastors themselves might actually be going through mental health. That's why most pastors, they probably suffer more mental health than the average
Why?
people because it's a lot to carry the role of a pastor because you are solving everybody's problems, but no one sees yours. No one sees what you are going through.
Have you ever treated a pastor with mental health illnesses?
Yeah, there are people who present to mental health who are pastors, who are religious people, ministers, or so. So it could be anyone.
What were the triggers?
The triggers is just like everyone triggers, really. It's like everyone, anyone. If anyone can be sick with physical health, they can be sick with mental health. So I guess it's just normalizing it, really. And even your physical health can impact
Your
on
mental,
your mental health.
that's true.
Imagine somebody who is having a terminal ill disease. What do you think is happening to them? Mentally. They are going through a lot. So most people, their mental health even starts once their physical health starts suffering as well. So it should not something people should shy away from. We should start having this normal conversation every day, and people should be able to open up and talk about it, either in the church, either at workplace, either within families. We should be able to talk about it, and nobody should be punished for saying that I'm not coping well. Also, we don't need to wait to a point whereby someone has to take their life before we realize that it could have been avoided.
It could have been helped.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So just the last bit of the show. I'm going to ask you to pick one number from 1 to 3. You're going to pick one number, and whatever you pick, you have to do it. Pick a number. 1,
Okay.
2, or 3. You're picking 3. Okay. So number 3 is that I want you to sing your favorite song.
Favorite song. What is my favorite song now? What is my favorite song now?
You can sing it or you can pick another number. So choose wisely.
It could be any Christian song or any song, right?
Your favorite song from your teenage years.
Teenage years. Yeah, I remember.
You
now.
okay? Ready? 3, 2, 1.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
That was awesome. I think that's the best singing we've had yet. No offense to the last person who sang. Wow, that was good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you like that, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you can also check out Mrs. Better Immanuel online on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, and on, what else are you on? YouTube. And you'll see her details below at the description side of this. So thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoyed that, please feel free to support us in any way you can. Look in the description to find out ways that you can support this channel. Thank you.
Thank you.
So why don't you sing it out for us?
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Don't forget to tune in next week.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Woo!
Tune in each week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review or comment.